Well, greetings to you. My name's James. I'm from SugarBite, and in this short video I'm going to show you how to report on the hunter related fields. Now, in my demo system here, I only have a handful of demo contacts that have been validated. Most of them are actually invalid because it's just demo data. Some, of course, are marked as valid domains as well. And if we go and look at an example contact record, once the installation of the add-in is complete, you'll be left with this hunter verification tab on the account, contact and lead record. And you'll see that there are 5 new fields that have been added to the layout. We have the hunter status. This is the main reporting field that indicates if a contact or a lead does indeed have a valid email address or has an invalid one, or perhaps it's a Gmail account, in which case it will come up with free webmail. We have a table which I'll show on screen now that illustrates all of the different hunter status value definitions, and in this video I'm going to show you how to report on the data. So let's imagine that you've embarked on a campaign to validate and check all of the contact email addresses inside of your SugarCRM database. Well, you can track that progress with a very simple report, and we'll be reporting on the hunter status field. The hunter last checked date time field is also a fully reportable field, as is this field here called hunter last user. This indicates the person who last verified this particular contact's email address. So let's go on and create a very simple summation report inside of Sugar that will illustrate the status of one of your modules. Let's go with the contacts module first of all. So you want to head over to the reports module and create a new report. This will be a basic summation report, but you could pick any report type that you'd like. And we're going to be reporting on the contacts module. Now, in terms of filters, we might want to exclude any contacts that don't have a hunter status. This would indicate that it had not been run through the scheduled job. But for this example, I'm not going to apply any filters because I want to report on the contacts module in its entirety. So with that, we're going to skip this particular step of the report, and then we're going to define the group by clause in the report. This, if you're new to reporting, is like imagining a bar chart, and this particular step in the report is determining what is going to be one of those bars or pieces to the pie. And in this case, we're going to be reporting on the hunter status field. So if we search for status, select hunter status, that's how we're going to group the results. On to the next step, choose display summaries. This is what determines the height of the bar in the bar chart. So we're just going to go ahead and count the number of records that fit within each one of the hunter status values. On to chart options, and I think for this one we'll just go with a basic pie chart, and we'll give the report a name. And this pie chart illustrates that actually for the majority of the contacts in this particular system, 291 of them, they have not yet been checked. So that's why it says undefined, is because they don't have a hunter status just yet. And in more or less equal measure, we have 10 with a valid domain and 12 with an invalid domain. Now, similarly to this report that groups the result by status, we could also group it by the user who performed that verification, or we could indeed group the results by the month in which they were last verified. This is important if you're going to keep on top of the email verification inside of your system. And we would generally recommend that at least on an annual basis you run a complete data cleanse, and of course that involves going to the contacts module or the leads module or the accounts module if you're using the email address field in the accounts module, and filtering, selecting all records, mass updating those records, and selecting the hunter add to scheduler to yes. And then you update those records at least on an annual basis to make sure that you're regularly checking the status of these email addresses in your database. Now, to build a report that looks at all of your contacts, grouping them by the month in which they were last verified, we would create, again, a very basic report, a summation report on the module, in this case contacts, but you could also choose leads or accounts. And in terms of filters, again, this is up to you. You may want to add 1 or 2 filters onto this, but for this example I'm just going to leave this blank. And then we're going to group the results by the month in which the hunter was last checked. In the Choose Display Summary section, we're going to select Count. And then for chart options, let's go with a vertical bar. So here again, as you can see, I have 291 contacts that have not yet been checked. We have a handful that were checked in February of 24 and 2 that were checked in March 24. But if this is the kind of report that you want to keep your eye on and make sure that not too many contacts have been checked several years ago, you want to make sure that your database is kept up to date. So this is how you can keep an eye on your entire contact database in Sugar and be able to ascertain how many were checked in each one of the calendar months. I hope you found this useful. Let us know if you've got any more questions or you'd like to see more videos like this.
New Sugar implementations.
Custom development.
CRM health checks.
Training.
Priority support.
Sugar BPM advice.
CRM consultancy. Follow us on all the socials for exciting updates or get in touch if you would like to discuss your project.